All right, look, so if you're some kind of cloud engineer or sysadmin and you're not using any kind of infrastructure as code or writing code and taking advantage of these AI agents, you are falling behind. And no, I'm not here trying to just clickbait. I know the title sounds clickbaity, but I've fully been in the camp that like AI won't fully replace us. Everyone's just running around saying that. Google just released Gemini CLI today, and I used it for an hour this morning, and it is absurd the amount you can do with it. So in this video, I want to show you how I've used it so far and what it's able to do and the amount of time that it saves me. If you are not using these tools, you are absolutely falling behind and you're eventually not going to have a job, unfortunately. Okay, so here we are on the blog where they released it. So you can see, I'll link this in the description if you want to read it. Introducing Gemini CLI. It's directly in your terminal. Totally free up to a very high limit. So 60 requests per minute. So you can do a request every single second and you can get 1,000 model requests per day. Fully open source. So once you do use up those, if you happen to reach that limit, you can put in an API token and it's still super cheap depending on which one you're using, the model that is. But most people are probably not going to run into that unless you're doing a ton of heavy lifting. So we're going to get into it. This is what it looks like. I will show you, again, link in description. Here is the Gemini CLI. If you just scroll down here, super easy to install. Just run npm install-g Google Gemini CLI. So this is what it looks like. We'll get into a few things here. What you can see is there is the Gemini.md, so you can actually store context in here. So I could say, hey, I'm a DevOps engineer. I use a lot of Terraform. I like structuring my files this way. It's really important to me that it's readable. So like things like that, whatever you want to do that's your personal take on stuff, you can apply that directly in here. Also, if you type in slash, you can see all the different stuff. So when you go to auth, when you first log in, you're going to want to log in with Google. That's how you'll get your free credits. And then after that, the Gemini API key will be what you used. So we are already logged in, so I'm not going to do that. One other thing, you can go down here and go to editor and set your default editor. So I'm using VS Code, so we're going to do that. To exit out, just Control C. Okay, so here is the repository. What you'll see, I have two AI agents. I was just playing around with some LangChain models here. And we have a writer and a researcher agent. And then inside of here, actually, I'm going to delete these Docker files and just show that as well. So let's go ahead and delete that, move to trash. And then we have, I don't want to show that, .env file that has some secrets in it. So from here, I'm going to go ahead back to my terminal. You'll see we're in here. That's our agents directory. So I'm going to go to Gemini. And what I'm looking to do here, I want to deploy these to Amazon AWS as quick as I can. Okay, so here's my prompt. I said I have two AI agents from LangChain. I want them deployed to AWS ECS. Create the Terraform required to host these services publicly. Create the Docker files to build the images. Create the GitHub action files for deploying. And also give me an architecture diagram of the resources. So I'm going to go ahead and hit run. And we'll see. This will take a few seconds. And when you're first doing this, it asks for permission. So you can do yes, allow once. This is making changes directly to your repository. Or you can do yes, always allow. So I usually make sure if it's a production app that I'm working on, just work on a branch and then do yes, always allow. It's just easier for me. But that obviously could cause some problems. So if you want to just allow them explicitly for each change, you can do that as well. Okay, so we are back. Took about 5 minutes. Last time I ran this, it gave me directly a PNG file. I downloaded Mermaid into a Python package, and then it ran with that and created the AWS architecture diagram. It's swapped over to Gemini 2.5 Flash, so I think that might be why this one is not able to do that for me. But we're going to run with the rest and see what we have here. So what we'll look at first, we have our deploy.yaml. Going to skip around in here, but what you'll see, it creates the AWS credentials. So I was going to use access keys, but the Terraform is going to create the access key or the authentication method for us here. So to log into ECR after getting that access key, so it looks like it will need me to set them though, so I might change that actually. I'm gonna go back and ask Gemini here. So I just had to change the authentication for the GitHub action to be access keys, and I'll provide the secrets. Moving down, here's our Docker file. Nothing crazy in here. It's using Uvicorn to host that in port 80. Probably same exact thing here, so not much there. But it's nice that it added them. And then here is our Terraform. So what do we have? 520 lines. So sets up the region, sets up our VPC here, subnet, internet gateway, route table association. Let's see, there's our cluster. And then we have our ECR repository for researcher and writer. We have our ALB here, security group. So yeah, everything looks pretty good in here that it's going to host this publicly. And the researcher and the writer will be able to communicate in that sense as well. So here's our execution role. Yeah, so a bunch of policy stuff as we scroll down. I'm going to not bore you guys with that. So let's go ahead and just see if it validates. So I'm going to exit out of this. Terraform, tf init, and that worked. Let's do validate. Okay, that worked. So it's struggling to find our API key. Oh, it's pulling it from SSM. I'm going to just set that as a variable. So let's go ahead and delete that. And then over here, I will set var.openAPI key. Let's go to our variables and there we go. And I should already have that in my environment. That was one of the things in my .env file. So there we go. Our plan looks good. Or our plan ran at least. I'm just going to go ahead and hit apply and see what we get. While this is running, I also wanted to mention the prior model that I was using gave me a fully fledged README with all the documentation on what all the directories were and how to start everything from scratch. It looks like the Flash did not do that, but you should get even better output than this if you're using the full model. And then one other thing, if you guys are a cloud engineer and you haven't really used the GitHub Actions and Terraform, or at least you're not like very experienced in them, or if you're a manager of a team that uses this kind of stuff, I do this. I help teams with this kind of stuff. DM me on LinkedIn if you need help, and I'd be happy to chat. Okay, so it looks like our Terraform just finished creating, so we can see our DNS name here. So we're going to go over to ECS and just check that stuff, make sure it actually exists. Obviously it does, but we'll verify it. So LangChain agents cluster, 2 services, and you'll see we have status active, but we don't actually have any running right now. And that is because we have not pushed our ECS. So let's go back over and do that. So in order to do that, I am just going to commit this. I know that's not a good commit, but that's what we're going to do.